Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. I finally got caught up to Sakamoto-Days and chapter 22 just came out, so I wanted to make a quick review on that. I also want to mention that I was planning to make a video on my thoughts and opinions on the series as a whole. Since my first video was just on chapter 1, I kind of just wanted to give an update video on what I think so far of the series, but I wasn't able to get that video out before the release of chapter 22, so I'm going to have to push that upload for sometime next week. But for now, I'll give you guys a review on chapter 22 of Sakamoto-Days, Jurassic Bastard. Let's get started. So we get this really nice color page and we get to see Sakamoto and Shin and Hii just kind of lounging around trying to stay cool. I see lockers behind Sakamoto and it looks like they're wearing swimming trunks, so I'm assuming they're like at a public pool or something like that. I'm not too sure. Another thing that I notice is that we keep seeing Hii. He's a recurring character and I know for a fact that he's going to join the team. I really like his character. He is very unique, not in the sense of his personality because he's kind of stupid and very gullible and dumb, but the thing that makes him unique is his drive, his motivation, his willpower to keep pushing forward through any adversity. Like, even though he's struggling and doesn't have any money or a place to live, he has a big old smile on his face. It really speaks to his character and the type of person he is. Anyways, I talk about him a lot more in depth in my video that I'll be making next week, so check out that video when it comes out. But in the meantime, let's get back into the chapter. So we're taken back to the museum where Sakamoto and Shin are facing that T-Rex surveillance robot, and one of my biggest issues with this chapter is the amount of time being wasted on this T-Rex. Half the chapter is Sakamoto and Shin trying to fight off this T-Rex when they end up just kind of one-shotting it at the end when they could have just done that from the very beginning. Sakamoto wanted to keep it as a souvenir for Hana, which is kind of ridiculous because the thing is like 30 feet tall, but that's besides the point. There's so much stuff going on in the story that I don't know why they decided to drag this fight on when they can just be giving us some crucial information on some other characters, because there is a lot of things going on. There's that Saba guy looking for Shin. We don't know anything about him yet. There's also Shishiba and Osaraji, the girl with the veil. They're looking for that Mr. X guy, and we also have that reindeer dude that might be Mr. X. I don't think he is personally, for two reasons, because in the last chapter we get a panel with Mr. X drawing an X on the wall and he doesn't have that reindeer mask on, and you don't see any stitches on his hands or his head, so that's one reason. The other reason being that we get a piece of dialogue where the reindeer guy says, "We don't want you know who getting mad," which insinuates that he's taking orders from somebody else. So I wouldn't think that Mr. X would be taking orders. I think he would be giving orders if anything, but I feel like he would be working alone while he's killing all the assassins, which kind of brings me to another thing that's interesting. In this chapter, one of the scientists says that the lab's being taken over by an assassin group, which is interesting because there's a connection between Mr. X and an assassin group, and I don't know what that means. There might be an assassin group that is killing other assassins for whatever reason. I don't know, but that whole dynamic is interesting in itself. We also know that Lou and the chief scientist are down in the basement, locked away. We get to spend a little bit of time with them, and the chief scientist gives me straight up Senku vibes from Dr. Stone. He's like super smart, so he'll be able to figure out things and, you know, use the power of science to overcome any obstacle that's in his way. I'm kind of interested in his character. I believe his name is Asakura. Looks pretty cool. One thing that I noticed in this chapter, at least the second half, is the relationship between Shin and the other scientists. It seemed like they were old friends, just seeing each other after a long time away. There was no malice or hatred coming from Shin talking to them, which is quite interesting. I mean, I'm assuming if you lived in a lab and you were just a test subject, you would be pretty mad at the scientists that were just running tests on you constantly, but it seems like they have a good relationship. I guess he considered them his family in a way because they did raise him, even though they were doing really messed up stuff to him, probably. And that was kind of the extent of this chapter. I'm assuming in the next chapter we're gonna follow Lou and Asakura out of the prison they're in. Yeah, but I'm just kind of disappointed in this chapter overall, just because there were so many things they could have done and they just simply decided to have half the chapter focus on Sakamoto and Shin fighting this useless T-Rex surveillance system thing. I don't know why they decided to do that. That was very disappointing. Other than that, it was an okay chapter. I didn't mind it that much. I was hoping for a little bit more information on everything because there's just so much stuff going on, but it is what it is. I'll have that new video on Sakamoto-Days out sometime next week or later this week. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you like the video. Leave me a comment if you have anything to say. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.